Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Frosthaven. Frosthaven has updated, and now I've mentioned this before, but the game is constantly in a state of growth. Being early access, they're going to be rolling out new content and new patches, fixing bugs, updating bits of the UI, copy text, all that kind of stuff based on feedback from the community. That being said, I am still thinking that this will be the last week we run it for a little bit of time, give them a chance to get some more missions rolled in, more of the mechanics rolled in and things like that, and then we'll come back and we'll revisit it. So apparently we now have tutorial tips. That's kind of good. We've figured out a whole bunch of stuff already, so we don't really need those. But it is nice to know that the journey in is going to be a little bit better. And actually, let's head back to the main menu very quickly, because one of the things that they have done, if I head to new, there is now a tutorial and the road to Frosthaven, which is like a little prequel adventure to get you to grips with how the game runs. We're not going to go through those. I do think next time well, when I say next time we hit Frosthaven, we'll probably start with that as a nice introduction. But it's good to see that the experience is becoming a fair bit more refined as time goes on. In terms of what we have to do, we're still going through picking out various chests that we haven't found. Now, where was that last remaining one? Was it over at the peak? Yes, Snowstorm Peak. So we're going to head back to Snowstorm Peak with level 2 characters. Let's do our normal stuff in the town, and there's always the chance we're going to unlock another mission. But some of the choices we've made and some of the unlocks that we've done using inspiration will mean things are cut off from us. That's one of the main reasons why we're going to be putting it down for a little bit of time. Let's start with upgrades. Probably upgrading the craftsman makes more sense. Ooh, there is lots of pet slots available. We'll upgrade the craftsman. Let's get that queued up. Donate materials in. We have a bit all over, so we can afford to do this. We could spend all of these resources on and sell them for money, but it's good to have them available. We need to get a new soldier going. Let's use a bit of wood to do that. And I think that's possibly all we can really do in town without resorting to making potions and selling them and things like that. Down in the garden, there's nothing specifically to be done. They're going to be automatically harvested. We've probably already had the harvest from that, so that's good. And we've got no wrecked buildings either. So let's just check in terms of money. 34, 12 and 16. Not a huge amount. Certainly not enough for us to visit the Enhancer. Let's get out and hit up a mission. Over at Snowstorm Peak, we're going to be going up against Wind Demons and Frost Demons. We've done this before, but we haven't got the treasure chest. So let's see if this team does any better. Ooh, actually, before we do that, there was one more thing that I wanted to do. In the characters, we have the trainer's net. Let's take off the poison dagger. Let's put on the trainer's net. We can try and capture enemies whose health is low with Geminate, specifically with Geminate. We've done one of the masteries for Geminates. Geminate's slightly above the curve. It's really hard to say with given the perk marks that you can pick up on various missions. So I think that's a smart choice to equip. We'll lose the poison dagger. That's fine. I don't think anyone else has. Ooh, do we want you to have the cured leather armor instead? I think we do, because you tend to get beaten up more than I would like. We should consider making some stuff for Blue Blood, because you've not got a head item, you've not got boots, and you can fit another small... In fact, they can all fit. No, they can't all fit another small item. So one more small item for Blue Blood. A potion for Vitriol. Let's go to the Alchemist. What would be most beneficial for Vitriol? An element potion, maybe. Blessing, probably not. Power potion doesn't affect summons. Stamina potion could be kind of useful. It's always a good option, and we do have the materials for it. Now, if you're getting a muscle potion, getting a power potion to go with it feels like a smart choice. My question is, do you have an extra small item available? Because you're level 3, that's why. It's because you're level 3. Right, let's visit the craftsman for you. And see, we can afford a whole bunch of stuff. Simple charm, it will help. It's not much, but it will help. We could use the spyglass to lean into extra advantage. But I think we'll go for the simple charm. And then boots. What are we going to do for you? Rough boots does make a lot of sense. Extra mobility never hurt. Okay, I think that's all good. Let's go to the peak and see what we can find. An encounter along the way.
Just outside Frosthaven, right where the road begins to become less travelled, you find a man in dusty white vestments. A few burnt down candles are on the ground next to him, dripping wax onto the rocks. The young priest holds out a bowl for offerings.
Would you like to make a donation? I would be happy to extend the blessings of the Great Oak to you as protection on your journeys.
He sees your trepidation in turning over hard-earned gold.
The sanctuary sent me here to set up a shrine, but unfortunately I was set upon by robbers. I just need a bit of time to earn back the funds, that's all. And my blessings are nearly as good as the ones you'd find elsewhere.
And his curses are as well. Now, we've seen this one before. Because we've already done this mission, I don't mind robbing him again and just taking the money because it's going to fund our war effort.
This sap expects us to believe
gold.
He represents the Great Oak. You're putting a stop to this right now. A few swings of the arm take care of the makeshift shrine, and you don't expect to see this charlatan harassing travellers in the future.
Be off with ya! All that money is going to go to Geminate. Because if we're going to lean into enhancements, I'd rather it was on the person that needs them. Time to pick battle goals. Ooh, Exterminator could work for our lovely Splitsonian. Kill one or more enemies of each monster type. So that's a Wind Demon and a Frost Demon. That seems doable. Peacemonger is never going to happen for Vitriol. Let's just see what the other options are. Ritualist, probably not. Scrambler, probably not. So for Vitriol, 13 or more experience, that's a lot. Peacemonger, no. Bully, yeah, we can engineer Bully. And then Blue Blood. Layabout could happen. Assistant is likely, though. Okay, we'll go with those. Can I check your cards very quickly? Let's see what experience we're likely to get. This doesn't give experience. This does if we activate any of the elemental parts of it. This gives experience on the elemental part or the bottom. This gives experience if we use earth. This gives experience if we use earth. This gives experience if we use cold. This gives experience if we use cold. I think we're probably fine actually to have layabout. Alright, let's try it. Ooh. We can decide which pets to bring. Now, obviously we don't have any pets, so it's not going to make a difference, but it's interesting to see that it gets a whole section for it. Skip that. Pets are empty. Begin quest.
The wind never stops.
We've heard this before, so I'll skip past
a constant
this bit.
presence.
Time for speeches is over. Alright, so there's the chest right at the back. That's probably why I didn't spot it previously. Tucked away just behind that hazardous terrain. Each hero will discard one card right at the start, so that's going to be because of our curse. We can probably... Ooh, so many cards can be useful, and I don't know which ones we're going to want the most. Let's have a look at you. You're immune to snare, you're immune to disarm, immune to stun, and immune to curse. So cursing is less useful. So we could probably get rid of Eternal Torment. It's only discarding, it's not burning. So we should bear that in mind as well. Let's temporarily get rid of Crushing Crystals. And Geminate is immune to the effects of the scenario. Geminate needs to kill a Frost Demon and a Wind Demon. Do we have anything that's piercing? Icebound Quills is, but it's a burnable. We don't like that. What I'm going to look to do is target the specific things that we need to tick off the mission. And none of them look suitable. So instead, we're going to be either dealing with retaliate damage or just raw damage out. If we start off in ranged mode, and if we start here, 1, 2, 3, you're at range 3. So we could go quick with a Mind Spike. It might do some damage. Into My Embrace would do actual damage and pull it closer. It's only going to do 1 damage. But if we do 1 damage and get it closer, we might be able to use our trainer's net to capture it. Okay. So if we're doing Into My Embrace, we could follow up with like a firefly swarm to move elsewhere. That could work. That could get us kill, it could get us capture, and we move on. Next up, Frost Demon, Wind Demon, and of course the massive Storm Caller. It'd be good to get the Wraith out. So that's Angry Spirits. If we're doing Angry Spirits are going to be behind us to start off with. One, two, three, four. You're 4 away. And that's grants an ally attack 5, which is interesting. Yeah, I think probably repositioning with Returned Servant makes the most sense out of those. So you're going fast, you're going slow. We need something to kind of like tide some of this over. We could go with Fury of the Mountain to attack. Or move up a little bit and get a retaliate. Do we have any worth? Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Push him back onto the hazardous terrain. That could be interesting. So that's Frost Eruption to push. And that could happen in a couple of different ways. Okay, Frost Eruption and Cold Boulder. That gives us the flexibility to move. This guy might move closer, might not. Let's see how it goes. Another Frost Demon is being summoned. We need to get over to them quickly. Ice Barrier on the Frost Demon. That's not handy, but we're not really going to be punching him to damage him, so it's fine. And Whirlwinds on the Wind Demon will make that work. Ow. Yeah, step on in, do your shield thing. Yeah. Actually, this is only attack 1. Don't bother with disadvantage on this. It's not bad. Okay, Geminate. Into My Embrace, you're now out of range, so we're going to need to shift position or do this one, but then it's not going to pull it far enough, so we're going to need to shift position. If we're going to shift position, we can pull back 1. Hit you. Didn't do the damage I wanted. Next turn he will suffer the damage, or we explosive vial him and just grab him. Which honestly does seem like it could work. Hey! Why is it not... It's probably because of the hazardous terrain. That is not how I wanted to go. Well, he's going to die on his next turn. Not how I thought this was going to go. Frozen Fist. Frost Eruption. Do it this way with the poison. Dodge that retaliation. And we'll create an ice here. Let's start going through. Bone Shaper. Let's get the angry spirit out. And we'll move on through as well. Yeah, let's go to here. We're starting to head up for this. Still not massively happy with the failure of the attempted capture, but we'll do something else to try. Because you're standing on hazardous terrain. We could probably ignore you. So let's instead look at this wind demon over here. I'd need to move 1, 2, 3, 4 to get close to it. Which is doable with drag down. But then we burn the card. Everything else is targeting someone else. So let's move a little closer and target someone else. Hornet Stingers gives a nice bit of disadvantage attacking us. And Changeling's Boon will probably kill it, which is good. It gets it ticked off. We don't have to worry about it. If we move relatively quickly, then our Wraith will move relatively quickly as well. So let's go with Malicious Conversion. And we could do Decaying Will to shoot a poison over at the Stormcaller already. I would very much like you to jump and grab this. And after that, put on one with the mountain. It's not going to be the most optimal, but it will work. Summoning a wind demon. Frozen Fist. Hop on in. One with the mountain. Nice. That is a decent selection of things. Okay, let's ooh, which way do I want to go? Let's go this way. We could go one further and go after this thing, but it's not poisoned. So let's just get to here. That's one of the kills we needed. Turns out that the other kill, despite the fact that we caused the damage, didn't count. that'll do for Geminate. Wraith's moving up. It's having a plink. Not particularly useful, but certainly not unuseful. We get poison on this, it'll make it a lot easier for Geminate to kill. So let's put the poison in. And if we move a bit closer, round this way, you'll shoot us and pull us in. And 2 damage attack. Yeah, use the disadvantage. Oh, sorry, it's a push, not a pull. Well, I'm glad we went this way because the other way would have pushed us onto there with most damage. We will get back in case punch. Now, to kill this, we're going to have to do a little bit of piercing. Or a little bit of retaliation. I think we'll do drag down on it. And we'll try going after the Bone Shaper. So we can do a little bit of healing on ourselves. And we could get out the Unearthed Horror. It's not got a huge amount of health, but it does hit reasonably hard. Shambling Skeleton will also just get in the way. Nope, because if we're doing Fell Remedy to heal ourselves, then we need to move. Unearthed Horror will just move us a bit closer. We could potentially use Fury of the Mountain to move in a bit and do not a lot of damage. Oh, but we can... Ooh. We can punch through and get some piercing with Piercing Pummel. We can also do Lacerating Eruption to do both wounds and extra area. Okay, that's kind of interesting. So where would we need to stand for it? We'd need to stand here to hit them all. So do we have anything that would move us 3? In case punch would get us there. Alright, we're going in big and we're going to hit them for everything we can. So if we're going to do a drag down here, it doesn't matter what else we do. Icebound Quills seems kind of reasonable. Wind Demons are going to consume something to make wind. That's unhelpful. And you've just, like, come on in to get right in the way. Well, I can at least jump next to this guy to put a wound on him. It's just it's not going to be quite as effective as I wanted. Seeing as we're in here, muscle potion, power potion. We will get that wound on for as much damage as possible. And at the very least, he started bleeding out. I'm happy enough with this thing having a go. Wow, that extra shield really has kind of screwed things over, hasn't it? Yeah, geez, I've got so little planning now because they've maneuvered and done a whole bunch of stuff I wasn't quite expecting. I think we need to get closer. Getting a shield on you would probably be a bit sensible. Or getting healing on you just to tide it over. And let's get back. Decaying Will feels like a smart one to return. With your remaining cards, Piercing Pummel is the one that's going to hit the most. Fury of the Mountain could do extra retaliate, so we would need Earth. So we can turn this into Earth and try and do it that way. Geminate. Honestly, I don't know if we could just use Icebound Quills and just kill him. That will definitely work. And it ticks off our... Oh no! You've got to kill the Stormcaller as well. Huh. I mean, it's not beyond the realm of possibilities. It's just not how I thought this was going to go. We'll have a go. That extra shield. Frustrating. Oh, that's big hit. Take the damage. Ow. Maybe I'll just burn a card over here, actually. Yeah, let's lose life and death. Stop putting things in the way. And we will recover. Lacerating Eruption would be amusing. I think we'll get back Encased Punch. We can definitely try a Scarab Flight. I mean, we can just punt this thing because it's close to us. So maybe we'll try that actually. Selfless Offering to do a move and Hail of Thorns to do a punch. We need to move quickly. Let's say Dark Tidings to move in. And Decaying will... No. Damned Horde. Let's get a skeleton out. Act as a bit of a blocker. Case Punch and Piercing Pummel. Piercing Pummel with the Retaliate will be useful. Stormcaller is finally doing just a basic attack. Get over to this side. It's going to be a lot harder to push you around. I am so glad we had advantage there. This is going to be so painful. Ouch. Very painful. Geminate. Have a swing. We are rolling really unluckily here. I think we're going to have to just back away. A little bit of retaliation, but it's really not much. You're potentially able to be captured now. Right, we need to get this skeleton out. And stick the scepter on it. Yeah, I will burn a card for that. Let's burn Decaying Will. And you will get back Encased Punch. You can't afford to, because you will die if you do that. We can try and step in and capture this. We'll give it a go. I don't think it's necessarily going to work, but if we don't try, we'll never learn about how capturing system is supposed to happen. I think it's time to actually do a short rest. We need to move a little bit faster than that. So short rest on you. And short rest on you. Crushing crystals will give you a little bit of healing. And we could do like a cold boulder thing down underneath as well. So that we can then do Encased Punch and do more damage in the future. It's a bit of a bit of a slow burn. Fell Remedy will give a little bit of healing here, but I'd like more than that. Alright, here's an idea. Dark Tidings and Command the Wretched. So we're not going to do any healing. Instead, we're going to get our summons to do some attacking. Including a big hit over here. Maybe one of these directions. Try and thin the enemies out slightly. They've all gone invisible, of course they have. Youch. Take the damage. You're going to have to burn a card. Let's burn Fury of the Mountain. I feel like the team may not succeed, which is a bit of a shame. Yeah, why is this not... I mean, I suppose he can't be targeted because he's invisible. So that does make sense for this round. Nope. We're gonna burn a card for that. Let's lose Transfer of Essence. No, we're going to have to pick a different card for that. Return Servant. Unlucky Skeleton. Getting a big hit on the Tamale would make a lot of sense, but that's potentially burning cards now for very little reason. This can't attack because he's invisible. Yeah, I think I'd be more inclined to just have the skeleton take a shot at the big guy. Skip the movement. And we could back around, but I think we're kind of in a dangerous death spiral here at the moment. The Wind Demon's going invisible is very frustrating. Stay still. Just get your healing on. And we could get back Crushing Crystals, but I think... What's the other one? Cold Boulder? It's probably not that useful. Skip it, we'll have to do what we can. Short rest down here. We'll try and go a bit quick with Malicious Conversion. In fact, no, with Fell Remedy and Transfer of Essence, we can give you back a whole bunch of health twice. And then we'll just be in trouble. We could do a Lacerating Eruption here. To hammer that home. And we want to move 1, 2, 3. Right, probably just to here. So anything that's going to move us 2, well, which is anything. And drag down, we'll try and change us over. Right, let's use Hornbeetle Carapace as the actual action. And we can use Draining Pincers to jump and change. Then we'll be in a better position to go plink, plink, plink. So we're still going to try and steal / capture this thing. So painful. Right, Frozen Fist. I think this is the better choice for you. And you're gonna stay still, so stay where you are. Geminate. Still not letting us, because it's still invisible. Bloody thing. Because it's moving so slow, it is going to get to do plinks at us, which I do not like. We're going to be burning so many cards. We've lost our Wraith due to the hazardous terrain, which is a real shame. Okay, gonna give you back a bunch of health. Which is gonna cost us a bit. That skeleton is not going to live through that. No way. Still did 1 damage. So painful. Let's lose Malicious Conversion. Youch. Burn 2. We'll have to do what we can. So we're really not going to make it through this, but we can still try and get a few things out of it. It's not going to be really worth us grabbing those bits and bobs. But we could still step down and try and... if I do into my embrace and then Hail of Thorns, we'll shoot him, we'll walk down here and we'll try and capture this again. You're going to have to short rest. You can do the only cards you've got left. Well, I guess we're not moving anywhere. And healing up for good measure. So in case Punch will do a decent bit of damage. And we can't move, but we can at least hit with advantage with this. It is burning a card, but it's also healing us up a bit. Such a shame. Alright, we'll burn venomous barbs. And just take the damage there, but retaliate. Because you can. Right, if we do Into My Embrace on... we shouldn't be piercing like that. How are we getting an additional 2 damage? Oh, because of our added modifier. Oh, that's going to make it a bit harder to actually capture someone. So we wouldn't be able to walk around and try this because he's on an obstacle. So we're going to have to do this one and try and pull him here. And hope we don't kill him. So really this is attack 3 and we're hoping for a -1. Well, that's entirely less helpful than what I was hoping for. A -1 would have been great. A ×0, that's no use to anyone. But he is wounded, so we can stay here and hopefully next turn we'll actually be able to try a capture. Burn Scarab Flight. And I think we will get back Encase Punch. Because we need all the cards we can manage right now. Right, we want to go as slow as we can. So Changeling's Boon and... Drag Down. Short rest on our remaining blue blood. Don't lose that one because we can actually put that everywhere. Case Punch and Lacerating Eruption. Let's just try and put some big damage out. Which will be coming down this way. More hazardous terrain coming in. We will lose Mind Spike. hit him as much as you can. A little bit of healing despite all that. Geminate. Still not letting us capture it. Alright, I'm going to have to look up separately. Oh wait, hang on, he's healed up back. Because he hasn't had his turn yet because he's moving too slow. That's one bit of damage. Skip the rest of the ability. Yeah, I don't get it. During your turn, capture an adjacent enemy whose health is 1 or 2. His health is 2. In my mind, that should be working. So I'm going to need to look up how that's actually intended to work. And given a lot of the effort that we've put in this time has been about trying that capture, it does feel a bit of a waste of time. Like the rest of it, we probably weren't going to win this campaign anyway. We got the chest, which is what we wanted to do. But we could have been grabbing other loot bags and stuff. So I'm gonna have to do some reading. Okay, not going to cover any discarded cards. We'll just do what we can over here, and it's going to have to be a short rest. No choice. Last cards. And we've been disarmed, of course. Alright, well, Geminate, you may as well step in and grab some loot. And you can Hornet Stingers. Get a little bit of poison out. And we got a little bit of hide. With the amount of damage that's coming in, I think we'll probably end up losing before the next round actually takes place. We can stay still, get a little bit of healing out here. Or run away. But we can't actually attack. And it doesn't matter if we were to recover anything anyway. Because we have no cards left. So, Frozen Fist is exhausted. We could have done a long rest just to act as a blocker, but it's not going to help us do anything other than draw this out longer than it needs to be. I will, however, see if we can do something this turn. Unlikely, but you never know. Oh, all the little bits of damage coming in. Yep, we are gone. defeat, not surprising. It's a hard challenge, and we went in with very inexperienced people. We could do replay mission, but I don't think that's going to give us any benefit. So instead, we will just head back to town. We'll keep the experience gold and loot gained, and things will advance by a week.
Balancing on a single wheel, a small metal box with a wobbly head rolls up to the main gate. The guards are hesitant to ring the alarm bell over a lone robot, but the debate is cut short as it announces itself with a full-throated metallic voice.
Provide us sufficient metal, or face our beam of death.
With
Lovely
that,
Daleks.
a device on the mountainside gives off a flickering light, projecting a blue dot on the side of a building in town. The edges of the light singe the wall, and the intensity seems to be growing.
Snickers and Stump are impatient by design. You have 1 minute to comply.
We can give some metal.
You throw the metal off the battlements, and the small box uses a fold-out arm to gather the resources.
Our business concludes. Good day.
It wheels back to wherever it came from, wobbly head bobbing. The blue light coming from the mountainside deactivates.
Well, that went all right. Yeah, three from the person who has the most. That's absolutely fine. Okay, well, just before we finish, let's get another soldier training up in the barracks. We don't have any extra experience to assign, and in terms of money on the individuals, we've got 41 on Smithsonian. That's quite good, leaning towards getting some more enhancements. But it'd be good to get some perks for the team. I feel like they'll definitely benefit if we can start turning those -1s, -2s into +1s, +2s, and all the other mods. That is going to have to be in the future, though. We have run out of time for today. So I'm going to do a little bit of research into how that damn training net thing is supposed to work. And in the meantime, thank you very much for coming along, everyone. I do hope you have enjoyed this. As always, if you have, be sure to give a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so, and you'll be told when the next episode goes live. Otherwise, I'll see you next time for another episode of Frosthaven. See you soon.